welcome to Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess Gorgeous. I'll be your oracle today. We've been away for a while. There will be an announcement, some additional information coming soon. Leave that there. You know, my personal channel, you can always go to priestessgorgeous.org. You could always go to the YouTube Priestess Gorgeous channel. There you'll see a lot more face. You also hear a little bit more personal stuff. It's a little bit more ratchet, meaning, you know, the whole spiritual, religious, light worker veil sometimes gets lifted or shaken off completely. We're going to go ahead and get in where we fit in here. The conversation of the week is karma. We are in the dark period of the year. By the way, it is a Gu year, so it is Mars focus if you are on your Mongol dosha or any type of Mars period, Mars heavy transit. Pay particular attention. You know, the planets per se are the real aspect of time. And we go off a solar kind of concept and idea, which is really the true definition of hell, the dimension underneath the sun. And we are in bondage. There is a physical energy which acts as a physical antenna to amplify and compound karmic cycles, karmic entities, karmic experiences. So, you know, time is the conveyor belt through which karma gets anchored into the physical. And we've been away for 3 months, so we're going to come at you a different way. You know, we're under no obligation to be who we were 5 minutes ago, let alone 5 weeks ago, 5 months ago, 5 years ago. So, you know, if you have some ideas how things should be, you're going to get messed up. You're going to get slapped around. And frankly, you're welcome. Okay, I'm just going to jump right into the message. Hello, hi, welcome back. I want to honor the continued subscribers. Thank you so much for your support. I would like to welcome the new subscribers. Hi, hello, and welcome. Again, my name is Serene Priestess Gorgeous. I will be your oracle today. I am a high priest of Mami Dan, a Huno of Mami Wata, and I am a galactic consul and emissary of light. Wow, so we got a few energies out here. I'm hearing this song all at once. You act like you don't need me. Been there before. Been holding on for too long. So there's a message. Okay, so the devil is alive and well. We'll talk about that when we need to talk about that. So, by the way, we're having some camera issues, so pardon the the camera angle. But as you see, we've been going through some cameras. Okay, 4 cameras in 3 months. So we'll talk about that another time. Pardon the noise. There's a link for donations in the show notes. If you need a consultation or assessment, we're not really open to the public right now. We'll be opening the temple doors back up on March 22nd. You can, if you're needy, and I'm saying it in a nice way, no offense. If you're needy, if you have needs, if you need something from outside of yourself, if you're having a difficulty going alive and connecting with source, okay, going inside yourself, feeling alive and connecting with source, oracle at priestessgorgeous.org. Okay, I would prefer don't ask me about price, send a donation and then email with a question and you will get a response back. I'm also looking for a deputy. We are hiring. The thing about it is I don't have the choice with Saturn in the first house, God on my head, okay, literally. I don't have the choice to F around with candy asses. I don't have the choice to F around with people who are stuck in some karmic cycle, not willing to look at their life and how they're showing up and participating in it. So unfortunately, you know, when people come around halfway serious, we open divination and their life gets destroyed. And I don't mean it in a way that needs to derive fear. But if you are frightened of me, for number one, frightened of spirituality, tarot, divination, astrology, Saturn, Pluto, Ifa, Yoruba, Voodoo. If you're frightened of that stuff, what are you going to do before when you stand before the eyes of God? Okay, if you get distracted by the first ooga booga, okay, what are you going to do when the actual veil does get lifted? Okay, we're around the corner from apocalypse. We're around the corner from judgment day. So if you stuck on stupid, honey, I ain't got no nothing for you. And that's the collective tone of the temple, if you didn't know. We are not here to perpetuate your BS story. We are not here to co-sign your little shenanigans. And I'm sorry, if you're looking for nice, warm, and fuzzy, you need to kick rocks, honey. This ain't for that. No, none of that. And I'm saying this in a nice way because, if I'm willing to laugh in your face, I don't give a fuck about you. That's the reality of the situation. So if you can show up and participate in your own life, then we can go ahead and cry together. But if you're not even willing to read the syllabus before you show up to class or turn the chapter on the next story in your life, this is not the place for you. Okay, if somehow you need some entity, some energy, some little rainbow lollipops, sherbet and ice cream to, kick the ball down the road and distract you from the aspect of your life and how you're showing up to it, this is not the place for you. Go ahead and veil the devil. Go ahead and get stuck up on in all that stupid and, let the Pope, who also is known as the devil, stick his fist up your ass and puppet you around for another 1,000 years. So, anyways, welcome. You know, um, we really enjoyed our break, and there was a lot of work to do, and I'm sure I got a couple thumbs down and unsubscribes. The last 3 videos I put, I lost an average of 20 subscribers per video, so good riddance. And those who want to stick around and stay around, great. I would appreciate some donations because there's some things on the way, and I am intentionally not going to be doing a lot of open opening the doors for business. Okay, so if you'd like to support, that is so gratefully appreciated. And usually, if there's a break, I took off. I went and got some initiation, some ceremonies. That wasn't the case this time. What happened was I fell into a portal of my own, and I don't know how else to say this other than I had to look the devil in the face yet again. And we had a knockdown, drag out battle yet again. And the funny thing about a battle with the devil is you win when you say that you win, and when you in your say, because your say is different than you saying. When you say that you're done, is that's when you're truly done. It means if you're not going to fight for your life, if you're not going to fight for your soul, you don't belong here. Not on this channel and not walking the earth, in my opinion. A lot of people are walking around with half a soul, a sliver of a soul, a little tiny portion of a soul, and they want to act all kind of stupid, egotistical, righteous, like they're entitled. And literally, the way that the world works is that every soul has a spirit, but not every spirit has a soul. And in the spiritual world, they're only willing to deal with light. So if you're not willing to do your ego medicine, if you're not willing to do your fear medicine, if you're not willing to look the truth in the eyes, which includes getting to the other side of the devil, there's something out of alignment. The true aspect of spirituality is that your light exists on the other side of your shadow. And if you're not willing to go to the depths of your soul and confront who you are and what's alive in you, you ain't got no business having an opinion. And please, honey, don't come around me sharing it. I'm not yelling at anybody in particular. I'm not on my little high horse or my little pedestal. I just can no longer sustain this. I'm wounded, I'm yearning, I'm hurting, conjuring up some wounding because I'm unwilling to look at what happened to me as a lesson and a stepping stone. I've been trying to reconnect with friends. I've been trying to get all social, and everybody's just carrying around their wounding with a laundry list of why they can't do what they need to do, a laundry list of why they can't be who they need to be. So what? Shit got fucked up for you, honey. Man came into your life, completely teared you down to the ground, and you have to build yourself back up. Congratulations. Welcome to true living. Welcome to the spiritual world. All right. So that's just the thing. Truth or love. When the goddess loves you, when God loves you, oftentimes your life will get destroyed. Hello, welcome to class. If that somehow you don't agree with it, go listen to one of those lollipop YouTube stations. I don't care about you no more. Bye. It is very difficult to love on people who aren't willing to love themselves. And when I work with a person, they come into my heart, I put them in the goddess's hand. You'll see me in your dreams. Your ancestors will start giving me messages. So if I'm going to train a sisterhood of priestesses to take care of God's children, You better be willing to step up to the line and get your work done. And y'all can hold me accountable too, because we're going to do it together. I will stand in front and I will take us to the promised land. I will take us into the light. But when the darkness that's alive in you gets illuminated, elucidated, enlightened, when God gives you an angel for your right shoulder, you don't look him in the face and say, but I like this devil over here. He's my friend. I'm going to hang out with homie for a little while. Honey, it doesn't matter how chosen you are, baby girl. It doesn't matter how much light you have inside of yourself. If God gave you a gift and you want to go lay down with devils, ain't no amount of spiritual protection we can put on you if you open up the door to let the devil in. Do you understand me? We can go spend $1,000, $1,000,000 on spiritual protection, but if you go looking to lay down with devils, demons, one-track mind entities that exist off of depleting life, there ain't nothing we can do for you. Do not open up the door to the devil. Thank him for the message and allow the energy to move to its high vibrational outcome. Let us begin. So this is going to be just a little bit different, and it probably felt like I was yelling at you. Good. You should be scared of me. If you're not scared of me, I really don't trust you. You seem some kind of stupid, so that's just that. And stupid is different than dumb. Dumb means unintelligent. Stupid means you know the right thing and you choose not to do it. Dumb would be mixing ammonia and bleach when you didn't know no better. Stupid would be jaywalking across the street in front of a cop. One, you knew better. The other one, you were just unintelligent. And my energy is designed to get to the depths of your core. So if I don't make you uncomfortable immediately, you're in the wrong place. Okay. Now, sometimes it feels familiar, but that's because you're chosen and you've met God before and you're here to do your work. You're here to be of service. And I'm not saying that I'm God, but I am saying that I'm God. There's a difference between God and the Creator. The Creator is unfathomable, untangible, unmanifest, undying, unconditional. Okay. He takes from that infinite source. God takes from the infinite source of the Creator and creates the physical reality. Okay. And navigates the physical reality. Okay. Look at God as a seed. Look at the goddess as the field that the seed gets planted in. Look at the goddess as the sky, and look at the God as the stars in the sky. All the different little stars in the sky are the different little aspects of God. Immeasurable, unfathomable, unattainable, unmeasurable. Do you understand? Immeasurable, 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 immeasurable. The closer you get to defining it, the stupider you sound, number one. And number two, the further away you are from it. All you can do as a humble, sacred person walking with divinity, serenity, and grace through this world is have loving devotion and try to anchor whatever concepts, ideas, archetypes of God that align with you deeper into your life. Okay? So it's okay to have love and devotion, but a man is not a plan. If you see his shadow, don't think he's your little fixer project. You can make him something other than what he is, a messenger. Okay? And don't kick your life down the road waiting for something else to catch up to you to give you meaning in your life. If you notice that there's a space there for something to come into, make sure you are vibrating at the frequency in which you want that energy to step through the threshold. If something's going to walk through the door, make sure you have your standards about you. Make sure you are picky enough to recognize when what you want comes to you. And don't throw your self-worth and value away by lowering your standards so that you have something inside the gate. If the gate is opening up, wait. Like the Wheel of Fortune says, wait until the time is right for whatever you want that is perfect for you. The Four of Wands is the 1111 card. To step to the door. Wait. Be patient. 2 fours. What does that mean? It means work on you. Work on your foundations, your systems, your structures. Work on your finances. Maybe move your house. Maybe move the energy around in your house. If your walls are dirty, if your snatch is dirty, if your bathroom's dirty, if your floors are dirty, if your kitchen's dirty, honey, don't worry about a man yet. Okay? And it's okay to want, to yearn, to crave. It means there is some aspect of the divine that wants to come into you. Make a place for him, make a home for him. It's called enshrining God into your life. The first place that needs to be, in case you didn't know, let me tell you, spiritual practice, devotional path. Spiritual practice, devotional path. Spiritual practice, devotional path. Once you anchor the divine into your life and you can recognize the divine in everything, when you can see that God is looking back at you through the eyes of every living human walking down the road, when you see the goddess laughing in the children on the playground, when you see the goddess smiling in the flowers as you walk down through the garden, when you see the goddess whispering in your ear as the hummingbirds go by, when you can look at the stars and the sky and the moon and you can feel your sacred place in this entire cosmos, then you're ready. Because anything else that walks through the door is a messenger. It is not a plan. The way it really works, in case nobody told you, because these YouTube people and these tarot people, they're lying to you. It's a little stage and they're fucking it up. It's some bullshit. It ain't no nothing. They can't even tell you what astrology actually means. It's some shenanigans. Okay, so when you are walking through this world with serenity, humility, and grace, that's called a bhakti. Now, there are different levels of a bhakti. Initiated bhaktis are going to be tantrikas, dakinis, they're going to be made sacred by the creator. But until you know who you are and why you're here, you don't know your name. Until you know your gift and how to use it, you don't know who you are. And you think you're going to attract some God into your life? Honey, I don't know what kind of crack you're smoking. Go back to that dealer, get a refund for that crack. All right, so let's look at the messages here. Let's see what opens the gate up. Okay, so we got an extra story here. So we'll look at it, okay? All right, so, Spirit is saying, like, hey, okay, so you've been healing. Because the Four of Swords, truly it means that wisdom comes through pain. And if the truth didn't come out, Three of Swords, if the truth didn't come out and break up the two, whatever the two was, harmony, union, balance, how would you know what your true authentic foundation is? How would you know where the gate, the threshold of the divine is to walk through? This is Jupiter in Libra. Libra is the sacred crown that you wear. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. Like I say, every soul has a spirit, but not every spirit has a soul. So the spirits to me are like the drivers of the car, and the souls themselves are the cars. Somebody can jack your car, honey. Somebody could hijack your vehicle. Okay. By the way, are you going to let some drunk get behind the wheel of your vehicle? So men have the vibration of the spirit. Women have the vibration of the soul. Now, we both have both. Everybody has a divine masculine, everybody has a divine feminine. But if the person is unconscious, unawakened, how are they divine? At the very most, my dear, they are a messenger. The message here with the fifth chakra, which is your voice, that's your personal power, that's your worldly power, that's how you choose to show up and participate, that's the fifth chakra. The wound is where the light shines through. The symbology here is that this rose and lotus and all of that sacredness comes through, first of all, having nowhere else to go but through the divine. Having nowhere else to go. Four horsemen of the apocalypse is the Four of Spades if we're doing cartomancy. Here we're doing taromancy. Okay, so this is saying, all right, The way through the kingdom is through inside. It's through your soul. You have to go inside Jupiter and expand your right brain. The part of you that doesn't need to label, that doesn't need to define, doesn't need to make it what it is, doesn't need to force anything other than connection to the self, connection to the divine. True, authentic, genuine, and sincere expansion and expression in a divine nature is to experience pain as it is. Stop needing to label it other than what it is. When you embrace the pain, the suffering goes away. Oftentimes, when you embrace the pain goes away, and all that remains is a lesson. The truth doesn't need to be perfect, doesn't need to be nice, it just needs to liberate you. You don't need to agree with the other person. You need to understand the other person. If you don't understand the other person, you are never going to have agreements. And oftentimes, the other person is your twin flame, is your higher self, trying to anchor itself into the physical through a member of the soul group. And if you are neglecting and pushing God out of the way, going for the devil all the time, that's always going to be a karmic connection. Always. If you're repressing, if you're suppressing, if you're projecting your lower nature onto other people to feed something alive in you that you need to give yourself, you were always going to attract a karmic partnership. Now, in the place of the third eye, where you're connected to the serene sovereign grace, Venus. Now, Venus is the archetype of Oshun or Yemaya. Yemaya is the beauty who loves her life, okay? But she is that which is eternal. So she's the stars, Isis, Inanna, Ashtar, okay? So aspects of herself get anchored into the physical to experience that which is close to the Cancer archetype, humanity. Okay, now that's Yemaya. Oshun is the incarnated humanity and how it needs to cool and calm itself down because it has been afflicted. There was some aspect of its consciousness which got lost in its nature, okay, and it needed to experience unity in order to anchor that back into its vehicle, its soul, so that when it divides, when the spiritual divides from the physical, it could have that for all eternity. Okay? Maybe that's too much mystery, honey. I don't care. Come to the mystery school. All right. So, doesn't fire get fueled by air? Doesn't fire die if there's no air? Right? So, what's the mystery here? 2 4s to me means get your finances in order, clean your house, honey. Might be time for a move. Okay? You will have some increased foundation through partnership, unity, correspondence, or balance of some kind. Okay. So it's funny because the gate is the 10, but the threshold of walking through the gate is the 4. So something is opened up and you could reach out and grab it by walking through the threshold. And when it's a sword or a fire, an external, an outward, a masculine expression, to me it means this is the energy you need to see in the world. That's what the masculine has to deal with. Purusha is the unfathomable divine, Narayana, that one can perceive through shapes. Okay, so that's what Venus actually represents, sacred geometry. Okay, there is a form that devotion takes on in the physical. Okay, yeah, honey, love, la da 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 da, and so what, and on and on and on ad nauseum. Okay, it's a stupid story. People don't understand what real love is. Love is harmony, especially congenial love, which Venus represents. It's not unconditional, all pervading love, which is Neptune, also known as Yemaya, Neptune. Venus is Oshun. Okay, so love, congenial love. Okay, love is harmony. Now, harmony is beauty. Beauty is the manifestation of order in the universe. Harmony is the manifestation of beauty in the universe. Love is the manifestation of continual beauty in the universe. Compassion is the manifestation of continual love in the universe. Devotion is the manifestation of continual compassion in the universe. So the first place you start at is your place in this world. Are you happy with how you're showing up? Yes or no? If the answer is no, what are you needing, thinking, feeling, and wanting? That's what Venus is. Now, the ability to be receptive and exchange your thoughts, feelings, wants, that's Venus. Because when you're thought, what are you wanting, feeling, thinking, and needing? When it first comes online, it's the moon, the unawakened self. You don't remember who you were throughout the ages. You only remember who you've been this lifetime. That's the moon. Your thoughts, believe it or not, the moon is your mind. It's not your ideas, Mercury. It's not the exchange of thoughts, Mercury. The actual instinct, the actual reflex, the actual sensation of consciousness, reality is the moon. The ability to exchange and communicate and harmonize the external world to get those internal needs met is Venus. So here it's saying, if what you connect to, if the energy you put out and that you attract through your sacred womb is devilish in its nature, you're going to have a fight. But if you embrace all that is and allow it to bring whatever message it has with it, and then you accept and honor reality for what it is instead of trying to make it something other than what it is, you will perceive the phenomena of the universe. And guess what? Instead of having to brace for impact, you can embrace the situation. Until you know who you are and why you came here, you are never going to be able to emanate that out into the physical. So what crosses the threshold for you will be demonic in its nature. Okay, so that's out in the external world. In the internal world, we know that we have a twin. He might not be on Earth, and he isn't. It's saying here that he will step into somebody's vehicle. That spirit will come into somebody's car according to your wants, hopes, wishes, and needs. This is the wanting, yearning, conjuring up something. Now, we often say the Queen of Cups is somebody being in love. This is somebody who's aware of their humanity and the flow of it. Because water receives light. Earth receives structure. Those are the two feminine suits, water and earth. Earth receives structure, intellect, reasoning, communication to build into the physical, which would be system structures and technologies, system structures and foundations. The cups, okay, what it receives is drive, desires, passions, motivations. It takes it in, it reflects upon it, and it creates an environment. The queens are the moon of whatever suit that is. So this is navigating the world of the astral body. So feelings and emotions are different. Emotions happen in the present. Feelings are always in the past. Feelings are actually sensations. Feelings are closer to thoughts than they are to emotions. Emotions means energy and motion. So believe it or not, every single queen talks about the astral body in respect to the. So let me tell you about your astral body. It's gas. Again, Venus. Venus rules anything gas. Venus also rules anything that has an initial shape that expands upon itself, like a divine seed. So the revolving door for me right now is to yell at you about, and yeah, I said yell at you. You know, a lot of people don't realize that if you're looking for a man, if you're looking for your twin flame, if you're looking for a Mr. Whomever, the thing you're waiting for, whether it's that $1 million, whether it's that dream house, it's at a higher vibration. Whether it's that man, it's at a higher vibration. So if something happened to you and somebody came into your life and they messed you up and you're wanting to get closure and reconciliation with that individual person instead of the thing alive in you that brought that experience to your physical. So when something walks up to the gate and it knocks, it's the queen. When it walks through the gate, it's the king. When it's traveling to the gate, it's the page or the princess. When it's standing at the gate negotiating to come in, it's the knight. So here you are sitting pretty in your emotions and the awareness and the consciousness of who you are, why you're here, how you've gotten to be here, what's alive in you, what you have to exchange, your wants, feelings, needs, what will make you open and receptive to love. That's what the queen is about. And see, this Queen Cups, the moon's always looking towards the past. This queen is always looking towards the future. Yes, she's a queen. She's a queen of queens. That means an empress. At the very least, a high queen. Okay. So let's rehash this here because now it's talking a lot about if you haven't laid the groundwork, and then you're not going to know what to do with those options. Yeah, you may have Tom, Joe, Dick, Harry, Billy, Bob coming to you. But again, queens, unless they step to you like a queen, as a warrior, uh-uh, uh-uh, uh-uh. What do I tell you all the time? A woman needs self-worth and value. A man needs strength, courage, and wisdom. And I hate that man, female, be a man, I hate that shit. It's disgusting to me. Just because you're genitalia doesn't mean you need to act no way. Men, female, males, females, penises, vaginas, gay, straight. That's some third dimensional horse pucky. The purpose and the process of the third dimension when you're in your shadow is to be polarized, to be split, to be divided from your eternal self. Hopefully, so that the pain and the suffering will bring you back into the consciousness of who you are and why you're here. But without strength, courage, and wisdom, that doesn't happen. And oftentimes you lose the ability to step into your strength, courage, and wisdom because of your self worth and value. Here's the secret of life navigating the third dimension. Work on your moon. What's alive in you? Your thoughts, your feelings, your wants, your needs. When your moon becomes online and active, you open up your Venus. The Venus and Mercury kind of work together. Okay. So when you activate your Venus, meaning you have your self-worth and value, what comes online is your Jupiter. That's your divinity, that's your sovereignty, that's your grace, that's your Brahmanical practice. Your Brahmanhood is your divinity, what you were infinitely endowed with through birthright, whether it's your DNA, whether it's your family, whether it's your money, whatever you came through the womb with. Once the third dimension no longer tricks you towards the devil, that's when your Jupiter comes online. But it only comes online after you get your self-worth and value. That is your Venus. So once your Jupiter comes online, your just really your divinity, but oftentimes it can also be your strength, courage, and wisdom, then you compete at God status. If you always believe that God is outside of you, you are not going to have a divine life, honey. There is a creator, there is a source, but you are God. If you don't believe that, if you can't walk with that, if you can't run with that, unsubscribe. Jump off a cliff, stand in front of a bus, kiss your mama, and go kill yourself. If you're not going to fight for your life, go away. If you're not going to fight tooth and nail with bloody fingernails crawling yourself out of the gutter, go away. This is not the place for you. If you're going to do what it takes to walk home into the promised land, welcome home. 2 sevens means an undercover conflict. It means a spiritual war. If you get trapped in the matrix, if you get trapped in the illusion, why me? Why does this always happen to me? I'm a victim. Everybody hates me. They're just jealous because I'm pretty. Everybody wants to wound me, wants to hurt me. Instead of realizing that, honey, you're conjuring that up. Okay? Whatever's alive in you is what you're going to manifest. 7 is a full manifestation, past, present, and future in the same place at the same time. 7. I know some other readers and told you some stupid. I don't care. I'm a grand tarot master. I'm going to tell it like it is. 7 always means your place. The suits would mean in XYZ LMNP. Your place in the soul group. So if how you come to earth is drunk on love, stuck on stupid, in the depths of illusion, and that's what you're going to attract. So what you'll be doing is you'll be making a bed for the devil in your house. And your house does not mean your 4 walls, honey. It's the keys to your heart. If what you align with, if how you exchange your divinity is the devil, this is called debauchery. It means external splendor, internal decay. It means that man is distracting you from the fact that you have some daddy issues. That man is distracting you from the fact that you don't feel comfortable alone. You need the TV playing, you need the radio playing, you need the Drake album, you need the Rihanna makeup. You need the food, you need the money, you need all those things that put you into debt, put you into deficit, put you into the devil's gates. That's what debauchery means. External splendor, internal decay. Let me say it again. External splendor, internal decay. Translation, fuckery. So you wake up your moon, who you are, why you're here. Okay? Then you wake up your Venus, self-worth and value. Then you wake up your Jupiter, strength, courage, and wisdom. Then that's when your Saturn comes online. That's when you turn the dial, see where you're winning, see where you're bleeding. You allow the karmic messages to come through to visit you, to deliver the message, and to free up to the highest vibrational outcome. Then, honey, you've laid your groundwork for whatever energy in the spiritual to step into the physical. So 8, 9, 10, ace, 2, and 3, that's the king. 4, 5, 6, 7, that's the queen. Now it works a little bit differently. Actually, the knight and the princess, they rule a couple of those numbers. But that's the general concept and idea. Okay, so I'm glad I got that out. Let's see what the good messages are now, because we beat that horse. We beat that horse. Okay, queen is back. Queen is back. What does she want? What does she want? Okay, now she's practical. Now her divinity has anchored into the physical. She's standing on her self-worth and value. She's walked through the gate, and she's coming directly to her soul group. And she incarnated here to do just that. Walk back into her soul group. She's not asking permission. She knows exactly what she's doing. The queen also means you're working within your element. She knows full damn well. She is an adept. An adept. Page, initiate. Page, novice. Knight, initiate. Queen, adept. King, master. She is an adept. Self-worth and value, walking through the gate. So good on you, honey. Good on you. Now, this means that you take multiple fronts and you allow them to congeal. It's called collaboration, cooperation. Threes mean expansion. It also means the body of. So this is the body of drive, desires, passions, motivations, stepping into the physical. Mars and Capricorn. Capricorn is the Godhead. Aries is the superconscious. People got it twisted, okay? So let's actually open this up and see how it's going to go. You know, I'm going to redraft this section over here because we were talking about all that karma. I really like this. I was about to call it a queen. You know, the 4 through the 9 is ruled by the knight. But that's the queen's territory. Oh, we got it. Wonderful. So that 9 came back out. So 9 plus ace is a 10. So 10s is like living in that element. But another thing to think about is it also means it's been rooted and anchored into the physical. It's become an institution. It's become something that it has a life of its own. It doesn't necessarily need you to feed it anymore. It doesn't need you to experience. It doesn't need you to play. It doesn't need you to engage. It's going to exist with or without you. The 10 of Wands to me is your philosophy. So that's your ideas towards life itself. Now let's go ahead and bring down the spiritual body and see what it's going to do. Okay. So we have the vehicle and the driver of the vehicle. We have the entire, we're 13 chakra beings. And when you're working with God, when you're working with your divine, there are different gods. There's one goddess. So when you're working with whatever God you work with, I say whatever color of the rainbow you tend to engage with, we're 13 chakra beings and we're engaging with 22 chakra beings. Okay? So now we have the full 13 chakras here, and I'm going to read this in a way that's difficult to you. Now, I would ask you to pick a number, 1 through 14. You can pick any number, okay? But if it's less than 14, then what you're going to want to do, like I always pick the number 72 because I love the number 72. So 7 plus 2 equals 9. Hear what I'm saying? What happens if you pick the number 77? Well, 7 plus 7 equals 14. You hear what I'm saying? So I'll pick a number 1 through 14, and you do the same. You don't need to share it. I'll call it out, and if I don't call your number, better luck next time. Don't be butthurt about it. Okay? So first thing I'm seeing, and this is a woman who's had to come through quite a lot of karma, quite a lot of karma. So she was tempered in the fire, and it's very well suited. And these cards are knighting each other too. Okay, so she now is sitting pretty. She has the perfect environment, the perfect foundation for certain things to come through. But if you're not at the vibration, if you're not at the level, you won't do well in that fire. You won't be able to, because tempering something in the fire also means to leach out the impurities. And what? She has the perfect guard against the devil. And see, what the devil's going to try to do is the devil's going to try to push you out of your heart chakra into your sacral chakra to make you feel inferior, especially with a feminine energy. A masculine energy, it might push you into the solar plexus to make you inferior over other, or superior over others, which would mean that you're perpetuating more of that controller technology, that dominating, abusing, perpetuating the cycles of abuse, the conditioning, the programming from mother, daddy, preacher, teacher, that kind of energy. And whenever the devil and the Hierophant come out together, it talks about the matrix, literally the matrix of the mind. So the artificial matrix is the negative alien agenda. It is the Vatican, and it is basically the matrix of the mind, that which is designed to be of the Luciferian or the satanic agenda. So the Luciferian agenda is the false father. It's designed to take you out of your place of power. The satanic agenda is designed to destroy human life. It wants to destroy the earth. There are energies and entities in our universe that want to see what the universe looks like with no earth. Okay. So I know you've been getting other stories. I am a reputable source. Make that decision on your own. So we walk through the gate here saying, okay, well, we have some karma to deal with, and we need to get to the full embodiment of what that karma is. Okay, so it's in the spiritual. It only comes into the physical when you give it permission to do so. So if you align with it, it'll step right through into the physical. Okay. So this is where we're at. This is what's knocking on the door. Karmic cycles. What is karma? Karma is ignorance. Oftentimes spiritual ignorance, just like fear. Fear is physical ignorance. Karma is spiritual ignorance. Oftentimes, if you have spiritual ignorance, you will manifest fear in the physical. And what is that? It is, well, it's several things. So I'll just say what's coming to mind. You know, I'm getting a few things right now. What I'm getting is suppression, repression, projection onto others. When you're walking around with anger in your heart, fear, to get to a bigger, brighter, better self, when you're continually coming off your throne, engaging in conflict, when you're defending yourself and explaining yourself to other people because you want to be seen, because you want them to respect you. But the problem is you're not giving enough respect to yourself. So you're always, always, always defensive. So you're always, always, always walking into a fight instead of saying, okay, this person doesn't see me for who I really am. I'm not going to invest myself explaining myself to other people who are only invested in misunderstanding me. So I'll take my 9, meaning my full embodiment and completion of this spiritual energy, this ashe, and I'll give it to somebody else. I'll start it elsewhere. So this, what's called false start, this almost maybe that almost happened with XYZ, elemental P, I'm going to take that and start fresh elsewhere. Okay, I've had a conflict. I've had a karmic relationship. I've had a karmic expediation. When the devil rears his ugly head and there's a fight or there's a cheating or there's a baby outside of the marriage, outside of the relationship, that's called karmic expediation, where something that was in the spiritual decided to come into the physical. When something has illuminated itself, it's lifted the veil and decided to show the cycle, 9. Okay? So when that happens, you can go towards your higher self and open up different doors. When a door shuts, a window opens, right? Or you can go into your lower nature and fight. Give birth to something that is karmic in its nature. I don't trust the fire suits, especially when the devil is around. If you know voodoo, if you know Santeria, Condumble, Lukumi, you would know that this is the Petro tradition. Fearful, ignorant, forceful, deceptive, anger. They do things for nasty reasons, and the sacrifices that's made in this tradition is normally human or pig blood, which is the devil. So when I see the devil out and it's surrounded by fire, it means cheating. It means diseases, venereal diseases. It means stepping outside of relationships. And I'm polyamorous. I don't really believe in monogamy. I believe that marriage and the word husband it's an enslavement device. It literally is there for livestock. But I believe in agreements and commitments, and I believe in partnerships, and I believe in being whole, sovereign, and sacred, and showing up to the entity of the sacred union with your own needs met, and engaging in the growth of the union and not the other person. If a relationship's not working out, you don't work on the other person, you work on the relationship. And if the relationship isn't helping you get your needs met, you walk because the relationship isn't giving you your needs, not because this other person isn't helping you meet your needs. You loving the other person is a choice, and you don't do it for what they give you in return. You do it for what loving them gives you. So if you're stuck on that stupid kind of love, thinking about how they're going to be in the future, that's more karma. But if you love them and you love their soul and you hate their human because their human is ignorant and failing to connect with the divine, then you walk. Okay, so knocking on the door is the devil. And the nature of the matter of the situation is that there's a whole cycle to look back on in the past. You need to understand where you've come from to know where you're heading. And you've done a lot of work on yourself, and you've done a lot of mastery on yourself. You've gotten some pretty monumental heights in your life, but they're soulful and they're solitary. They're you, boo. Ain't because of no man, ain't because of your mama, your daddy, your teacher, your preacher. It's because of you, boo. And you own it. You don't ask permission to live your life. You don't ask permission to be yourself. Okay? So knocking on the door is the devil with some fuckery. And, and now we're and now we're over here with the queen, right? And so she's saying, okay, look at these cycles. What do you know? What is your knowledge? What is your ancient wisdom? How have you connected to your eternal self thus far? Because now we're at the fire gate. And she's saying, well, I know it's been a rough go about it, and there's a lot of devils out there, but at least you know how to invite life through the door. Okay. Okay, so now she's saying, well, now what are we willing to work on? What are we willing to collaborate with? Don't get trapped into actually see what's practical, see what you can nurture into the physical through your creativity and relativity. Instead of just having some spontaneous inception, have a sacred conception. Well, okay. Well, the coming and going, the arrival of matters that involve to do with your spirit, your etheric nature, the eternal, okay? And that will open up the gate. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter, but Jupiter is the hole through which the light of the sun comes through. The sun is not a luminary. The sun is a portal for the spirit of the collective to come through. You would know more if you look at the Aurora Borealis. Okay. So Jupiter is literally a portal. It's a gate that opens up for the lords of time or the lords of karma to come through. Who are the lords of karma? Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Pluto in the 11th house, Uranus in the 8th house. So stuck in a bind, giving your power, Uranus, your self power, your spirit, Uranus, to other people. 8th house is shared emotional needs, shared financial needs, shared resources. Pluto in the 11th house. Pluto is your eternal power. Pluto is the God alive in you. In the 11th house means tyranny. With this Hierophant here, it means the collective conditioning, the programming of the matrix, education system, politics, media, government, institutions of slavery, marriage. I love a good partnership. I might be polyamorous, but I call myself polysingular. I like an emotional connection with one person. I like to explore and experiment with multiple people, oftentimes together with my main mate. Now, that's just an evolved kind of way. I'm two-spirit myself. This is not for the third dimension, and I don't give a fuck about your opinion. I've been able to liberate myself from that whole a man is a plan. And even if you're not that way, some people can't be that way. I'm a Cancer. I can't pop pussy for the whole nation. I'm sorry. If I'm going to fall into bed with you, I'm going to form an emotional connection. What does that mean? That means I'm not liberal with my goodies. Some people can be all around. Excuse me, I'm not, no offense, but Venus and Gemini, those people have multiple lovers. Mars and Sagittarius, those people have multiple lovers. Okay? Moon and Scorpio, one person at a time. So it's here or there. But what it is your mind in prison or is your mind free? Has somebody implanted some type of conditioning and programming into you? Are you free to think for yourself and summon up what's alive in you? And are you open and spiritual enough to communicate that to the other person? Because knowing that you want bigger and brighter and better and holding it in secret over somebody else, that's still devilish. And usually, not always, it's going to be the feminine who is receiving this and the masculine who is doing this. Why? Because feminine receives energy and masculine projects energy. Now, it's not always that way. But you start with the rule and then you look for the exception. You don't start with the exception so that you can perpetuate your shadow nature. A person who's always looking for the exception and doesn't want to play by the rules, throw them out the window. They're going to get you tripped up. And a person who can't recognize an exception when the occasional exception does show up, again, my dear, they're going to get you tripped up. So let's look at the shadow partner. Let's see what they got going on. Because we went, okay, the devil's knocking at the gate, so we're being asked to be practical. And we should have seen the cycle for what it is. There's no other, well, we have a moon and a moon here and a moon here. So I'm curious what this cycle was. It was an internal cycle where we evolved, where we stepped into ourselves, where we came unto ourselves. Okay? And It would have opened up a gate for our spirit to shine, for what's authentically true to our own nature to engage with the external world, with the physical world. But we would have had to have self-worth and value so we knew what to collaborate with. Because if we were going to collaborate with the devil, this is basically the highway for demons. So then it's saying, well, what you need, the gift to give, is, well, fire, drives, desires, passions, motivations. Okay. Sun in a fire sign, that's what the king is. Moon in a fire sign, that's what the queen is. So it's saying, well, there should be the arrival, the comings and goings. You should be able to manifest from your spiritual nature. You should be able to manifest by incarnating with your spirit here in the physical. Well, let's look at what that's going to be. Because if we open up the gate, if the way we work on is opening up the gate for the Lords of Time to come through, whatever we've planted the seeds for is going to manifest. So if we've planted seeds of fuckery and illusion and death and destruction and dereliction and destruction and degradation through despair and destitution, because we're working and acting in the dark, if we're ignorant of our own true nature and we lack self-worth and value and we forsake strength, courage, and wisdom, and we're not even able to stand for ourselves, then we're going to find ourselves in prison. We're not going to be secure in ourselves. We're always going to be looking towards the past for what happened to us, instead of looking to the future for what happened for us. Okay, so let's look at the shadow here. I'm using Toroki de Casanova, Tarot de Casanova. It's by Los Carabello. Hold on, something's gone wrong here. Okay, this is weird. Okay, pardon me just a moment. Something strange is going on. Ah, I see. Okay. Great. Okay. So let's look at the karmic partner. The strength card. So lewd and lascivious, always going towards sex, always pulling around, pulling out of the sex nature. Okay. So this is the strength card, always pulling towards the sex nature to see what he can get. And what he's trying to get, see, there is some deception here because we have the moon, but you're the one in deception, not him. He's just going to see where the light is. And that's the thing. Spirits, especially demonic spirits, they really love light. They live in the dark. When you turn the light on in a room, the cockroaches always run back to the corner. So they want to use the light to navigate and to scourge. Okay, and you would be the one deceiving yourself with the moon here because we have a blind spot spread. So coming from the light, light is always to the right. The conscious mind, the sun is to the right. The subconscious mind, the moon is to the left. Okay, so if you count 4 in, that would be what you're both trying to hide from, and it's the devil. So she's a beautiful lady, full of worth and value. She can get any man that she wants, any partner that she wants. But for some reason, when she looks in the mirror, she's deceiving herself. Why is that? Conditioning and programming. Look, moon. The moon is the sun in the 8th house, or moon in Scorpio. I'm just going to read that to you. Okay, this is going to be a bumpy ride. Pardon me. There we go. Okay, I hope that wasn't too much for you. So, moon in the 8th house. You can tell I've been using this book. Oh, Oh, it's an intense one. I have to. Here's the sermon. It's necessary. The moon in Scorpio is dark knowledge of the depths of the soul, and the sun in the eighth house is the descent into the underworld. Well, um, sorry about that. The descent into the underworld is interesting because remember what I said in the beginning of the video. Until you go into the depths of your nature, where is your light? Where is your light? It's at the depths of your soul. You have to go to the depths of your shadow to know where your light is. And that's what the eighth house is. The eighth house is the veil of illusion. Maya is what it's called. When you incarnate into the physical, when you fall off the mountain like the fool does, that's the 10th house. That mountain is the 10th house. Okay? When you fall off that mountain and you descend into matter, you forget that you are God. That's the 9th house. Then you're in illusion. You're past the two towers, the twin towers, the wild self and the domesticated self. When you're through those two towers, when you're in the valley of shadow and death, you have to take a look at your life and realize what's left. Nothing. If you have any attachments to the material, you will not gain 100% of your spirit back. So here we have the Casanova. Now, let me see what he's doing to our left brain, and we'll see what he's doing to our right brain. Okay, so he's only going to offer love with conditions, is what I'm being told. So we have the King of Cups here. In this deck, it counts it differently. The King is 13, the Knight is 14, but that's another story. The King sits on a throne. He doesn't move through the kingdom, so he's not 14. He's 13. But this is an interesting deck. Okay, so keeping secrets, not opening up fully about the emotions, knowing that love is there, wanting love to be there, but not willing to take the cup into his hand and engage, not willing to reveal himself, not willing to take the mask off. That's actually the right brain. Oop, okay, so we got multiples here. So what flew out was the 10 of Wands. So again, he wants you to take on the karmic burden with him. That's a karmic relationship. I'm just checking the camera. I'm sorry for the camera angle, y'all. Remember what I said to you. I could use the donations. I've gone through 3 cameras in 4 months. just karmic. So check the link in the show notes. Send a donation, please. I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to be doing a lot of readings, and a lot of them will be shorter. So they're just going to be like at this camera angle for a while. I'm sorry. I have, I was away from the business for 6 weeks. I haven't really worked for 8 weeks. Revenue is very low at the moment. Donate what you can. So what I'm seeing here is we have this person who's going to engage through sex. This is Venus. The strength card is Venus in Leo. The moon in Leo or Saturn in Leo. So this is a person who's going to engage through having power. They want power over you. They want to activate your kundalini because they want to engage the keys to heaven through you and your vessel. And they're going to make you take on, with this 10 of Wands, their karmic debt. And they're going to they're going to con you into doing it through the King of Cups. So the King of Cups here, he's not engaging in authentic love. He's not holding onto the cup. His hands are folded in his lap. He's completely clothed, even when his face has a mask on it. And the cup is sitting on the ground far away from him, and the floors are mirrors. But I don't trust a man who's in all white with a black hat or black shoes. Spiritually, the alchemical symbology behind that is false light. It's those light workers that want you to have sex with them, or those light workers who con you into doing things behind closed doors. It's like they want to attract you with all that light, and then when you get to the nitty gritty, keys to heaven, the hat, black. Keys to hell, the shoes, black. And then he's multiple layers too. He's poofed up. He has a little frilly shirt. So even if you do touch him, you're not going to touch him. Okay? So that's the masculine and that's the shadow aspect. So let's look at, so in the shadow aspect, the masculine came out. So let's look at the feminine now. What just happened? Come on now. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now let's look at the divine aspect of love. So if you're closer to a twin flame instead of a karmic soulmate, you wouldn't necessarily be looking in that for the revolving door. But the Chariot came out in reverse. This is Tarot of the Sun and Moon by Vanessa de Court. I love her. She's a Danish, no, excuse me, she's a Belgian children's book illustrator. She just makes some amazing work. I really enjoy her. I would suggest for anybody who's a student, after you invest in your initial couple decks and stuff, pick her up, especially if you want to read love readings. So it came out in reverse. So when the Chariot is in reverse, normally the Chariot, because the Chariot rules all the knights. Knight of Cups, Pentacles, Swords, and Wands. In reverse, it means, okay, you're going to move forward. You will have a victory. It wouldn't come out if it wasn't a victory. But in reverse, it means, first of all, stop. Hold up. Wait a minute, right? You're at an impasse. I-M-P-A-S-S-E. Impasse. Impasse, right? The limp wrist. The faggoty syndrome. Something is not right. It means oftentimes, first and foremost, you need to detox some of the shadow first. Bad stuff has happened in the past. When a card falls out of my hand, that's a confirmation. When bad stuff has happened in the past, there was shadow in the past, and it was okay. You needed to acknowledge it for what it was. Don't push it back, push it back, push it back, ignore it, ignore it, ignore it, not talk about it, not do no nothing about it. Thumbs up, everybody. Smash that like button, baby. You need to honor it, acknowledge it, grab the bull by the horns, tackle that. Detox, dilute from that, or you will be stuck. You won't be going forward. So that's what this means. So let's look at what's out in the light. Ooh, okay, we got a number of them. Okay. I only want two, so this one, oh, excuse me. These two popped out. All right, so Nine of Swords and Prince of Swords. So remember what I was saying, the knight, the Chariot rules all the knights. It came out in reverse. So there was a need for intellect, clarity, reason. They needed to talk things out. There'd been some suffering behind the scenes. A lot of times the nine looks like, okay, things are harsh, you're up at night, you have anxiety. It also means you're getting visitation. The ancestors might have blocked you. Somebody may have had a karmic curse on them. And I'm so sorry, honey, but especially in reverse, the Chariot can talk about abortion, especially when the Empress is out. And I gotta be honest, honey, Shamba karma, Oshun karma for a person with abortions or miscarriages, you've gotta tackle that bull, grab it by the horns. You can't ignore it and say, oh, 20 years ago I had an abortion, I'm not gonna talk about it. No, honey, there's little girls in Africa that have a bunch of different dolls tied to their chest, and you'll see them walking around the village with a bowl of cornmeal feeding the little dolls. Do you know what they're doing? They're feeding the spirits of their aunties and their uncles and their brothers and sisters that got aborted or miscarried. If you lose a child through abortion or natural before the age of 2.5, if you're a woman, a black woman, you're going to have that karma on you. I'm sorry. I'm going to get right to it. Welcome home. We're going to discuss these things, period. You need to honor that. That might have been the singular reason why it didn't work out. It might not make sense in your little human third dimensional brain. I don't care. Let me tell it to you. Now, there could be other things as well. Somebody wasn't willing to say something. Chariot in reverse can mean somebody with some gay tendencies. Normally, it means that they're very active with females, but they're very passive with men. Or there may be aspects of their masculine nature that they fully yet to, they're not integrated. They need to yoke. They need to yoke their femininity to their masculinity. They may have had abuse as children and they have some confusion. So there could be multiple things, but that was the first thing I said, especially with this Empress out, miscarriages, surgery, swords or surgery. I'm sorry to go there. Now we had a clarifier. So the clarifier was this Queen of Wands. And still we're dealing with the ego mind, the external personification here of the divine partnership. So the Queen of Wands. This is a person who, first of all, this is the maker of kings, queens, and goddesses. Queen of Wands. Look at her. Look at her. She is a goddess. Okay. So there was something divine here that the conditioning, the programming, the mental belief system got in the way of. Okay. Now the knights, the prince means move life forward, drive life forward according to XYZ LMP. So remember, we were first at an impasse here in reverse. I don't know if you can see it. I'm not looking at the camera. Pardon me, everybody. Um, it's saying to me like you were stuck somewhere because you needed to see the divinity in the situation. And homie, if a goddess wants to fuck with you a little bit, you better bow down to spirit, homie. I don't know another way to say that. You know, sometimes you can't recognize that the goddess is standing right in front of you, and she might have come to heal you. You can meet your twin flame, you can meet your soulmate, and you might not get to be with them for the rest of your life. You may have to have some sexual healing so that next time you could move forward and not be stuck at an impasse. I hate to say it, but okay, if you don't take an inventory, if you don't take an inventory of what you've been through, you're not going to be able to move on from it. Okay. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay, now let's look at what's hidden, because that was what should be obvious. Now, should be is a different than is. Okay, so it came out in reverse again, 6 in reverse, clarified by um, 5, and we have on the bottom of the deck the 7. So we have 5, 6, 7. So 5, 6, 7. When you have ascending progressive numbers like that, it means that you're beginning or you're going on. No, 1, 2, 3 will be the very beginning. But anything that is sequential like that, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it means things are moving along. So first of all, 5, 6, 7, that's 20. That's a, not a knock on the door, pound, boom, 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 boom. 5, 6, 7. Those together equal 20. That's the wake up. That's the trumpet. The chariot card with those energies would also mean the trumpet as well. So let's see here. So it would have meant that you needed to get out of your stinking thinking with this 5 of Pentacles. I don't know if you can see this card, so I'm just going to hold it around a little bit. I'm sorry for the camera angle. We'll fix it. I just need a couple weeks or a couple days. Whenever I choose to leave the house and go buy another phone. So this is Mercury in a pentacle suit, Mercury in Taurus, and it means that the world itself is abundant in its nature. The universe is not conspiring against you, so you should not conspire against the universe. If mama's trying to bless you, take your blessings. And remember I was talking about he might have some gay tendencies, or remember I kept saying the faggoty limp wrist? I have a limp wrist, and I'm faggoty than everybody else, so I have no problem saying that. Mercury is also the androgynous aspect of you, so you need to be unified. You might have too much pride and not enough humbleness. You might have too much humbleness and not enough strength, courage, and wisdom. You might be used to being stuck on stupid and poor mentality, so of course your environment is going to manifest that. Whatever seeds you plant are what's going to yield. So if you take a mustard seed, you're going to have mustard. If you take an acorn, you're going to have an oak tree. So whatever you choose to plant in there, whether it's pessimism, whether it's poverty mentality, or whether it's everything you've ever wanted, whatever you give mama, she's going to give back to you. It's like a female. If you give a woman love, she's going to give you devotion. If you give a woman a house, she's going to make you a home. If you give a woman food, she's going to make you a meal. If you give a woman shit, she's going to give you a ton of crap. Okay? So whatever you feed it, it will eat you. If you feed it shit, poverty, peasant mentality, what you going to get, homeboy? So this is about a mutually beneficial, nourishing needs exchange. About equal sovereignty. About being on solid equal ground. This is about a nourishing needs exchange, the 6 of Pentacles. So, when you're restless, rest in God. When you are weary, rest in God. When you have doubt, trust in God. And God doesn't mean source. It means when you look towards the divine, what things of hope, of a bigger, brighter, better future do you see? Take those archetypes and anchor them into your life. Reach out to the unfathomable and grab what you can, and you're going to receive in accordance with your belief. If you have peasant mentality, this orange and yellow means happiness, joy, enlightenment. So if there's something you don't know, you don't have to search for it. You have to reach for it. You might not know every step of the path, honey, but if you don't take the first step, you ain't ever going to get down that road. Why do you think this came out at an impasse? Okay, so I'm sure I've offended a few of you. You're welcome. Let's move on. Oh, here we are. Okay. Okay, so that was, we went through the shadow, we went through the divine aspect. Okay, so let's talk about who you need to be. Who you are determines what you have. Okay, so it's not be, do, have. You be something, and then you do, and then you have it. You know, I'm from LA, and I worked from 17 to 28. I worked in a financial planning firm, and I worked in finance. I didn't work in a financial planning firm the whole time. You know, I went out to make lots of money, so I've been rich, I've been poor, I've been paid, I've been on top, I've been on the bottom, I've been destitute, I've been rolling in the dough. The funny thing that I would see a lot when I was working in finances, I would see, especially in LA, it's a facade, okay? A lot of guys would be driving a Lamborghini, but they would like refinance their house to buy that Lamborghini, or they would like steal from the tuition fund, or like rob, embezzle from work to buy that Lamborghini. You know what I mean? So, you know, you're looking at this Lamborghini and it ain't no nothing. They ain't got no nothing. Um, it's the same thing, like those interest only mortgages. So we have engineer and we have addict. So in the light is addict. So your shadow should have taught you something. It should have taught you something. When you went through the thick of it, it was a lesson. It was a messenger. So compromising integrity and honesty, allowing an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. Usually I see it when women are, because this is the shadow card, the wild card. So that means you have a door open. So if you're wanting, hoping, wishing, yearning, and you're not able to give that to yourself, the devil's going to walk through. Okay? Engineer, being willing to call it whatever you need to call it to justify it for whatever you think you need to be justifying. Reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. I'm doing it this way because my mommy did it this way. I'm overweight because my mommy was overweight. Instead of, no, honey, you grew up at your mama's table and you took your mama's belief system on and now you're teaching it to your children. Okay? You know, I'm in abusive relationships because my mama was in abusive relationships. No, honey, I'm going to leave that right there, but you know what I'm going to say. Okay. Instead of an ability to give creative energy a practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. The first thing I see is if you are a healer, if you are an empath, and you're attracting narcissists into your life, don't sleep with them. If you're attracting narcissists into your life, it means you're there to heal them. If you need to heal a brother and touch his genitals at the same time, you're an unethical. This might, black women get confused, and this is not just for black women, but kings and queens. Doesn't matter what color skin you have. Kings and queens. Okay. I don't deal with peasants. Kings and queens. Here we are. And I'm talking about your mentality. I'm not talking about your bank account. And I said it to your face. If you need to unsubscribe and hit the thumbs down, go kiss your mama, jump off a cliff. If you're not going to fight for your life, if you're not going to fight for your spirit, what are you doing? What are you doing? Let me tell you very clearly, very precisely. It's quite easy. It's just not, it's simple, not easy. Meaning it's not a complicated thing. It's just you got to put some elbow grease into it. You got to put some skin in the game. And it's easier to cop out and to distract yourself. Okay. Here's the deal. If you are looking outside of yourself for something you're not willing to give yourself, you are inviting in the devil. Every single thing you are looking for exists within you. And if you are not manifesting it, you can manifest it at a higher vibration. Money, home, children, job, man. In a divine partnership, the divine feminine provides balance. It's the masculine who's providing stability. If the masculine doesn't have a vision, doesn't see and know where he's going, if he doesn't wake up every day itching and thriving to get out there and make a life for himself, how are you, the divine feminine, going to support him? You are the vehicle through which it is manifested. He is the one who steers the vehicle. Venus rules the automobile. Mars is the brake or the accelerator. Saturn's the brake. Mars is the accelerator. Do you know what Jupiter is? Jupiter not only is the driver of the car, but guess what Jupiter is? Jupiter makes a bigger, brighter, better car. The car itself is Venus. You embody the soul. You embody the divine feminine. You embody the goddess on earth. If you don't treat yourself as a goddess, he's not going to be able to come down as a sacred warrior and worship you. He's not going to be able to petition for your time, and he's not going to be able to come into your life and make it better. Meaning, evolve you, not upgrade you, evolve you. If it ain't evolving you, it should not be involving you. Letting some entity, energy, demon, or man, same difference, come into your life and give you something you're not willing to give yourself, that's addictive. You need to recognize and confront addictive behavior. Do not compromise your integrity and your honesty by allowing somebody else and their shenanigans to come in your life and derail you. So if you're believing in what mama taught you and daddy told you and preacher and teacher showed you to manifest your life, the devil. Now, I'm just going to drive this point home really quickly because I'm not satisfied. So, listen, this is my shadow deck. I use it for shadow readings. It's the Necronomicon. Thank you, Sarah M. from Glendale, California, for sending me this deck. So, Amun. Amun is the sun. Okay. We oftentimes talk about Amun when we say Amen. Okay. So, this is the Emperor. Le Imperatore. What does that mean? The Emperor is the sun in the 10th house. The hello, Capricorn, the boss. He's the one who sits on the throne and receives the information from the Godhead and implants his seed into the physical reality. So if you're taking somebody who's demonic in their nature, if you're going to take that demon seed, what do you think you're going to manifest? The devil. What does the devil rule in archetype? It rules being stuck on stupid, stuck in a place where you have no power and you're experiencing tyranny. And let's clarify him. Okay, this deck isn't separated the way I like, so we'll just have to go one. So the readings will get much shorter, but it wasn't that way today. Okay, two. All right, so we have the devil, or excuse me, the divine masculine shaped as a devil today, with the Four of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so I'm hearing the song to the left, everything you own in a box to the left. Okay. Keep talking that mess, that's fine. Okay, so I don't really like Beyonce. It's not my cup of tea. I'm not trying to say anything about her. I know that'll earn me a world of hurt. I never bit the Beyonce. I never drank the Kool-Aid. Okay, not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but Kool-Aid has more chemicals than nutrition in it. I will say that. So we have the Eight of okay. So I need a passive card and an active card. Active cards are wands and swords, and passive cards are cups and pentacles. So we have two passive and one active. Okay, so the Three of Wands with the Four of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles. Some people are waiting to do their work for something to show up. You do your work, and then what you want will show up. You don't wait until something shows up and do your work. You raise your vibration, and then what comes in will come in at that vibration. Because if you start doing your work after something shows up, you're aligning with that vibration of something outside of yourself. You need to have an internal mechanism and control over your foundation. The Emperor means your system, structures, and foundations. That is called self-governance, self-mastery, self-control. Autonomy, franchise, and control over yourself. For a female, what the Emperor represents, it represents your foundation. It's your sun sign. Because the sun in the tarot doesn't represent the sun sign. It is the sun, but it's your spirit. Your soul incarnated on earth. The Emperor, that's your sun. So if your sun is feeding the Three of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, and the Four of Cups, it means you're going to be doing the work for somebody else. The things that come towards you are going to be lazy in their nature. They're going to expect to leech off of you. They're going to expect you to do the work and for them to benefit. And they're lazy. Four of Cups is a laziness. It's always going to be looking over the fence for something better. And the moment somebody else is willing to deal with their bullshit that's bigger, better, and better than you, extra stupid, but still bigger, better, and better than you, they're going to leave you for them. That's what that means. I'm sorry. That's what that means. Okay, so if you have gone through the fire with some divine masculine and if you've gone through the fire with some divine masculine, it means you're ready. Because it says here that it's safe to love, but it would have had to come through a separation. So meditation will bring answers. If they're coming back into your life now, you need to know how they've changed and what they're doing differently today than they did before. So who were they back then when they left away, whether they were expelled from your life or they left your life? And who are they now coming back? What is different? What has changed? Ooh, okay. That says a lot. That says a whole lot. I'm gonna read this down to you, but wow. Oh, okay. That made me laugh. You know, it's really hard to make me laugh. I laugh at people, not with people. Because people are funny. Humans are hilarious. Okay, so this is looking really good. So something should be revealed. The way to break out, break free. Whatever shenanigans was going on before, they should have found a strategy out. And we have 17 swords on the table. King is 13, so 17 minus 13 is 4. So there should have been rest, recovery, and healing. And that pain should have now turned into wisdom. So meditation brings answers. If they haven't worked on their spiritual practice, meaning quieting their mind and becoming aware of their senses, their sight, smell, their libido, their mind. That's the mind is the sixth sense. The ability to perceive the phenomena of this reality. If you're still trapped in illusion, you ain't got no nothing for me, homie. And separation, it was time apart was on the horizon. Now some of these people are gonna come back and you're gonna see them for what they are. Crooked. Seven of swords is your power in this world. It's your power in this world. That's what the seven of wands means. I mean, seven of wands is your spiritual power for you and yourself, and then seven of swords is your power in this world, your ability to navigate the situation, your power within an organization, your power within the family unit, your power, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so with this 10, it means something's finally over. So if they come back, finally, there should be no blockages to the passion. You would have learned whatever difficult lessons you needed to. And don't stop. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. So if you're feeling something, don't block it with your mental faculties. You should trust that it's truly, genuinely over. And then if it's not, and you just have nothing for them, if there is no passion, then it's completely done and you can move on and walk. And if you don't know where your next opportunity is, your next love potential is, there's two things I'm hearing here. So for those who are not trying to do some spiritual work or spiritual practice, I don't really want to talk to you, but okay. It would mean to meditate and to raise your vibration, and that person's just around the corner. Now, for those of you who are looking to embark upon a spiritual practice, a devotional path, your twin is your spirit. Whatever spirit's on your head, that spirit will anchor into the physical through other children. So if you're a Havioso child, an Oshun baby, a Legba child, every one of those spirits has a counterpart, and you need to anchor the elements of that spirit into your life. If you're a Legba child, you know, start sharing skills with people. Um, you know, start a a Shopify store. Get on YouTube, okay, and you'll meet your person. If you're an Oshun child, beautify yourself. Keep your house clean all the time. Work on your nails. Work on your hair. Okay. Clean your house. Clean your vehicle. Okay. Go work with the disabled people. Oshun loves that. Okay. And you'll meet your lover. Okay. If you're a Yemaya person, be drop dead gorgeous. Walk through this world and mystify every single person that you pass. Women, children, dogs. Mystify everybody. Okay. Be that sacred sovereign beauty. Okay, be independent. Don't need a man, and the man will show up. Okay, Javioso, Shango. Okay, go work with veterans. Maybe don't do that work, but volunteer. Okay, um, you know, be just, be righteous. Stand up for the people who can't defend themselves. Go spend time with your mother. Go spend time with your brothers. Okay, heal your family karma. Okay, take responsibility for the ancestral lineage of the family, even if you're not the one who messed it up. Okay, and you'll come into contact with your twin. Okay, now the healing that's needed for this. First of all, there is a union here. So whether it's a physical union or a spiritual union, there is a union here. And unfortunately, physical unions, that's slavery. It's really hard to believe, but marriage is a device given to you by the colonizer, by the slave owner. And whether it's a mental slavery or a physical slavery, whether you're melanated or non melanated, I don't give a fuck. If you think happily ever after, you only were with one person this lifetime, somebody lied to you. The spiritual world knows that you will outlive and outgrow most people that you come in contact with. If you're really working on yourself and you're really a spiritual person, you're going to outgrow your lover, especially if you're a female. So it doesn't mean that you need to have multiple partners. It means that you are married to God first. You are married to the Creator first. And when God wants to come be with you, He will step into a beautiful man and He will get down on one knee and He will worship you as the goddess that you are. Get more information. Come to Ifa. Because you do have a spiritual marriage. You do have spirit ceremonies and initiations. There is some type of ritual for you. And it's safe for you to love, but you have to love yourself first. Helpful people. Be amongst the sisterhood. Look for those things online. Remember I said it, you need to be able to look in the eyes of every person and see the goddess smiling back at you. When you walk through this earth, do you see the divine in everything? Because if you don't, you ain't ready. The gate's not open. And you are if you're watching this video. What do? I do a full moon circle. I do a new moon circle. I do a clothing swap every month. Belly dancing, bhakti. I have a giri geet. What does that mean? It means I sing bhajan, devotional prayer songs. I have a sisterhood of women and a few brothers. And we get together and we worship the divine. Me, myself, I have a love of Shiva. Myself, I've looked into my lineage. I have Radha. Radha is the ability to endure despite the circumstance. To literally cry your heart open. To reach the unfathomable divine through unconditional compassion. And just because you have to walk away from this person doesn't mean you have to stop loving them. And just because you loving them doesn't mean you're holding on for them to come back. Again, you can meet your twin and you may not get to be with them for the rest of your life. If you're a black woman with Yemaya on your head, girl, the Ifa will tell you, okay, you've done your work really well for the last couple of years. We're going to send you this lover. We're going to take him away in 2.5 years. You will work for 1 year straight, and then you will be on vacation, and you will meet another man that you'll have for 5 years. They will literally say that to you. They will say, we're sending you a man on the 19th of next month. They will say that to you, the spirits. So you have to find your spirit. You have to find yourself here in this world. You need to know what goddess made you sacred, and you need to embody her in the physical, or your man is going to be trash. The devil, a fuckboy, a demon. It's safe for you to love, but it's only safe for you to love when you love in yourself. The purpose of a soulmate connection is self-worth and value. And until you have self-worth and value, it will always be karmic. And if you are not willing to release something that is destroying you from the inside out, that is the textbook definition of insanity, and we call that the devil. Stuck on stupid in a situation that you're giving your power to that is tyrannical because it's depleting you of your sovereignty. Oracle at priestessgorgeous.org. I really have so much to share with you all. I'm so excited to be back. I thank you so much for your love, for your support. Thank you for your continued viewership. I want to welcome all the new subscribers. I want to welcome back all the current subscribers. I want to thank you for trusting in me and believing in me. I'm so sorry if I've hurt you, if you feel like I've abandoned you, if you feel like my absence somehow was neglect. I don't want you looking at me on YouTube and thinking that I don't have time for you. My job, my purpose on this earth is to share love and create value. I am proud to be Mami Dan. I am proud to be a Melchizedek. I choose and I honor my sacred vow as a chosen one to be the light in the darkness. I want to be an example worth following. I want to be a story worth telling. I don't want you thinking that I find meaning in my life by demeaning yours. I thank you for putting your trust in me. I thank you for allowing me to be one of the lights in the darkness for you. I honor you. I praise you. I cherish you. I thank you. Ho'onoponopono. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. In the show notes, there are some links, mainly donation. $5 will help. We need to put the website back up. We need to buy a new server. We need to get a new camera. I need to put the membership site back up for the temple. Okay, the next class of the Mystery School is coming out June 22nd. I'm going to be doing an open mystery school, very encoded, but it'll help anybody who's already paid tuition, didn't get their needs met. Anybody who feels like they've slipped through the cracks. They'll have models, exercises. Mainly what you should get out of your first semester of the mystery school is a devotional path and a spiritual practice. So if you haven't been able to figure out what your gift is, how to use your gift, which is Mercury and Sun, what your gift is, Mercury, how to use your gift, Sun, how to exchange your gift, Moon. If you don't have that, what your devotional path is, Venus. If you don't have that, you need to come to the Open Mystery School. You need to email me, oracle@priestessgorgeous.org. If you gave me money, I will not take it without praying for you. So I don't care if you came to the mystery school 4 years ago. If you did not get your needs met out of that mystery school, I still think about you to this day. I pray for you every Tuesday, every Friday, without fail. Even if I'm hacking up a lung, I'm thanking the goddess for you. I'm praying to the goddess for you. Please, please, please call home. Come home. Oracle at priestessgorgeous.org. Also, my Zoom number is still the same. If you still have me as a contact in Zoom, send me a message. I don't care if you have to hit me up on Instagram, if you have to hit me up on Twitter. I'm a tweeter. I do DM on Twitter. I like Twitter. I love Twitter. I'm not Instagram. I'm not Facebook. I'm a tweeter. I tweet. Tweet me. Follow me on Twitter. Both the temple, vertexofabundance.org, and my personal channel, Priestess Gorgeous. Both of those. I tweet. I'm a Twitter, okay? But if you need to hit me up on Instagram, if you need to hit me up on Facebook, if you need to just call home. I want to know you're okay. I've been away for too long. I've dropped a lot of balls and I am feeling ashamed about it. I need to clean up this mess. Mama's ready to get back to business. Now, children, during the new year, December 21st, for all the Mami Dan and all the gay and all the Dan tribes and all the Mami Wata children, we held our Agma Blah Blah. That's the end of the year Da feeding, the Nagas. So if you didn't do any work during the year, any ceremonies and initiations, we put your name in the prayers and we prayed and we got judged by the Da. So the Da go away every year, the Nagas, they go away every year and they come back with notes. So children, this is a Gu year, an Ogun year. Okay? Last year it was Obatala and Oshun, Sun and Venus. This year it's Gu, Mars. So we need to put protection on ourselves. We need to be humble. We need to be wary of our enemies. We need to not engage in ego and conflict. We need to be wary about man-made weapons. Knives, guns, poisons. We need to be careful on ice, falling down stairs. We need to be careful when we're driving. And if we're in conflict, we need to talk to Mama Gorgeous. Oracle@priestessgorgeous.org. If you have somebody that you're working with, a santero, a madrina, a padrino, contact them. I don't care what practice they do. I don't care what they know. I come from the source. I see God every Saturday. I don't care what you think. Disagree with me all you want, and then go to hell. Enjoy yourself. I talk to God every Saturday. I work with his lieutenants every day except Monday. Do you understand? Most of these other traditions, it's funny, they come to my hometown, they come to my tribe, and they learn that they've been doing it wrong for 20, 30 years. So listen to me. Those other little practices, they're necessary. We have something called the diaspora. Anyone who's willing to connect back to their tribal lineage, I have time for. But understand there's a difference between the keys on the pianos and the piano strings. One is an accessory, the other is the infrastructure. God is the piano. I'm the strings on the piano. If I pull your cord, everything's going to unravel. Do you understand? So listen to me very carefully. This is not the year to disobey your duties. This is not the year to put anything before God. And I'm not talking about the God of the Bible. That's some slavery shit. That's the conditioning and programming of the mind. Anything you place before your connection with a bigger, brighter, better universal source, you will lose. This is not the year. Do not dishonor your duties. Do not dishonor your responsibilities. Do not walk through this world with your ego. Do not walk through this world finding meaning in your life by demeaning other people. This is the year you will be unraveled. If you're fighting for your job, if you're fighting for your child, if people are sticking roots on you, if they're trying to take you to court, get with your priestess. I call myself priestess because I like to be devotional and I like to be receptive. But I'm a king and I'm a high priest. I'm a huno. Okay? I call myself priestess to make myself easier and more accessible to you. But don't get it twisted. My spirit is not small and I am no low totem pole. When I speak, it has been said, I have spoken, and so it is. Call home. Put some protection on you. Get your devotional practice and your spiritual path right. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. If you don't have money, sit down and pray to your ancestors. If you have anger in your heart towards me, I am the vessel for the divine. So until you can go and stand before the eyes of God without divination, don't let me be the face of all your problems, please. If I need to step aside in your life, you need to have the strength, courage, and wisdom to say it to my face. I have a madrina too. I can take you to my mother, and we can get you right. Call home. Every single one of you, I expect you to check in by 12 noon African time, every single Thursday. If you're not in the zip code, if you're not in the area code, if you're not in the time zone, I still expect your check-in by noon on Thursday. I don't care if you haven't paid me in a year. Your ancestors still show up crying about you. Your spirit still show up yelling about you. Sometimes your own spirit shows up, lost, dazed, and confused. Call home. I don't care if it's on Twitter. I don't care if it's on Instagram. I don't care if it's on Facebook. If you don't know, Oracle at priestessgorgeous.org. You do not want to be in 2020 stuck on stupid. So this is the year to get the fuck over yourself, get your shit together, and come home. Everyone, I love you. I honor you. I praise you. I'm so honored and privileged to be your priestess, to serve you in this divine, sacred way. Thank you for allowing me the privilege and the pleasure to do so. If for some reason you don't like me anymore, that is fine. Go to Your Angelic Karma for tarot and divination. And if you have spiritual work that you're doing with me and you and I are growing apart and not growing together, I would rather make the recommendation for a new spiritual worker. The reason being is I know things that people don't know, that people can't see. My gift with the eyes and the voice of God is to see the devil on a person's left shoulder. A lot of us are trusting the wrong practitioners, and you don't understand. That is, do not play with your life. Do not play with your life. I'm a big boy. You won't hurt my feelings. You can tell me you don't trust me no more, you don't like me no more, and you need to go to somebody else. I do better when you're doing better. My success depends on your success. The goddess does not give you children and allow you to abandon them and then give you more power. And I know a lot of these little other babalawos and Iyanifas and all that other crap, it's dirty what they're doing. I work out of West Africa, Togo, Ghana, Benin. I'm Radha tradition, Mami Da, Mami Wata. The golden tradition, as I was given from the Dogon and the Nomos. The tradition that came originally from the Red Sea. Not no diasporan, slave, colonizer, mixed up, degraded practice. My sacrifices get put in the ocean where we became slaves. My job is to name the unnamed ancestors and bring us home. Remember that before you want to throw roots on me, before you want to disrespect my name. Doesn't matter what my human has done to you. You collect yourself, you get yourself together, and you come home. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about your ancestors. It's about the children that you are trying to raise and make a new, bigger, brighter, better world. Make a better, brighter world. Make a higher generation. To build a nation. That's what it's about. And any other shit is a distraction. And I got to tell myself the same exact thing. Call home. I'm not kidding with you. I expect an email from you every single Thursday. I'm doing great and got nothing to talk about. Talk to you next week. End of message. Or call at priestessgorgeous.org. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up on Zoom. I don't care. Call home. Have a great afternoon. Have a great evening. I will see y'all very soon.